A lot of people, they reach out to me on social media, on Instagram, and ask me all sorts of fitness questions, right? And in the DMs, you can't really give a lot of information, right? It's quite generic and just sort of a sentence or a short paragraph. And I want to now create something that is a bit more long form, because there's always nuance with these questions. And I want to go into particular topics that come up time and time and time again. So today, I thought that because I'm going to go run on the Corniche this evening, because the F1 track is closed, I'm going to share a little bit of insight into running for beginners, for newbies, what you need to be aware of, and how also you need to, or what you need to consider, really. And so I think the first big thing, if you are looking to get into running, or if you're looking to, to start something new, is understanding really like why you're doing it, right? So I think people generally want to run for fat loss. That is generally sort of the number one reason. And I would say if you are running for fat loss, don't. Do something else, okay? Running for fat loss is not the most effective way to lose fat. Now, I'm not saying running is bad by any means. I'm just saying understand why you are doing it. So for example, with running, it is a great cardiovascular piece of activity, right? It's a great exercise, but there are many considerations that you should be aware of. And people usually go from doing nothing, right? Sedentary lifestyle, not even walking, not even training or anything. And they think, okay, I'm going to start with running because it's easy and it's simple to do and everything. The opposite. Running is very, very difficult. It's very technical. There's a big skill component of it as well. And also, if you aren't strong in the legs, you're screwed. It's a recipe for injury. And so when it comes to running, you need to understand the reason for why you're doing it. So let's say you want to run to just get fitter, to get healthier, right? There are things that you need to consider first. Number one, are you overweight? If you're overweight, that means there's going to be a hell of a lot of impact in your ankles, your shins, your knees, and then you might get injured. You may probably get injured. This is what I see a lot at the F1 track. People are starting, they're running, which is great, but they just do too much too soon, and then they've got shin splints, or they've got bad knees, and it's a shame, right? Because then that just stops them totally from doing any kind of exercise. The other side of things is if someone is weak as well. So if someone doesn't train and you're doing something that is demanding, like running, then again, it's a recipe for injury. Because of the impact and the repetitive nature of running, if you're not strong in your legs, then guaranteed, pretty much, you're going to get injured. So that is the big thing that I want you to think about. If you want to get into running, fantastic, but make sure that you have strength in your legs and that you're doing something also about your weight if you are overweight. Now, if you want to do running for fat loss, I would say there's other things that can really be better for you than running. For example, strength training in the gym, potentially doing more kind of rower or bicycle type activities. But genuinely, if you're trying to lose fat, cardio is not going to be your friend. And the reason for that is cardio, when you do something for half an hour, 45, an hour, your appetite afterwards goes through the roof. And so if you are then super, super, super hungry after you do your form of cardio, then it's going to be impossible for you to stay on diet. And so for me, when I run, I know I'm going to be absolutely ravished. So actually, if I am trying to bring my body fat down and trying to lose fat, then what I actually do is reduce the amount of cardio that I do and do more strength training, because strength training as well is going to really help you hold on to your muscle mass. If you're just doing cardio, your body doesn't need the muscle and it's going to get rid of it. So it's super important to make sure you are strength training when you are trying to lose fat, to maintain the muscle and predominantly just lose fat. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit about my story, but first of all, let's go over here where I have kept all of my medals. Let's do this down a little bit. So these here these are my medals from when I started running, which I'll tell you a little bit about them when I put them down here. So let's shift this around. So I'm going to try and find the first medal that I ever did, and I think it was this one here. And this one means a lot because it was literally the first time that I ran, like for a long period of time, well, half an hour or whatever it was, but never, ever in my life had I actually taken part in a race or ran endurance. All of my life was like sport. It was rugby, American football, squash, tennis, that kind of stuff. So like short, like intense stuff. Never just I'm running in one direction for half an hour, I'm so bored. Never. I hated it. But what happened here was a client, Wed, two clients actually, Wed and Rua. You know, I was training them for the first time, and their goal was to take part in a 5K. And so I said, being the good supportive coach that I am, great, let me do it with you. And we did it together, and we all completed our first 5K ever. And that honestly has a special place in my heart. One of the other ones which I want to share with you is the first time I did the Riyadh Marathon, like 3 years ago. 3 times ago. Riyadh Marathon 2024. As you can see, it is a 4-kilometer one, because I thought, to be honest, that was my limit at the time. So I did the 4K that year. I then did the 10K Riyadh Marathon. Then this year, a few months ago, I did the 21K half marathon. So honestly, like what I want to get across without showing you my epic medal collection, man, I've got like a 5K from Jazan as well. We've got Alola Desert Blaze here. We've got the Alola Trail Race, all sorts of stuff. What's this? The Founding Day, the Saudi Flag Day with a cool little thing here. But ultimately, what I'm saying here is this running, if you want to get into it, it is very much a journey, okay? So don't think from day one, I'm going to run every day, I'm going to do it every day, because you will guaranteed get shin splints and knee issues and everything else. And think about it like with anything. It's like a skill that you're learning and you're building with time. So it's important for you to, gradually improve things. Don't think, okay, I'm going to do a 5K straight away. Think about how you can sort of take a softer approach. For example, run for 30 seconds and then walk for a minute and a half. And then you can improve on that with time. But for now, I have shown off my medal collection. It is coming up to, 6 o'clock, and we are going to go for a run on the Corniche today, and I'm excited for it. The great thing about running, which is the only reason I do it, to be honest, is I can see the sunrise in the morning and I can see the sunset in the evening. Staying in the gym at all times is so boring. I've done it for like 20 years. I still do it, but getting out twice a week on a Friday morning and a Tuesday evening is like bliss. To be outside, to move, to run. Yes, it is horribly hot, but that's the point. We do it anyway. So, without further ado, we need to sort ourselves out with some ice water from the freezer. Here's my chicken, here's my blueberries. Jazz. So what you'll find when you get into running is you generally then just seem to increase the pairs of shoes that you have. So these are my race day shoes. They are the expensive ones, and I did the 21K half marathon in those. These I've only worn once. I wasn't too much of a fan, to be honest. These are my favorite, I must admit. These are, as you can see, they've been worn a fair bit. And these, I like these. I just keep forgetting to use them, to be honest. A bit more subtle in black. But today, we're going to go for my everyday runners. So as I said, it's super important for you to be mindful of how running is like super impactful. So if you are going to start running, it is worth getting decent shoes, because the sponge, like the layer on the shoes, is going to be the thing It's going to be the thing that saves your joints, your shins, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back. So it is worthwhile investing. So don't go out in, your pair of everyday kind of trainers, New Balance, Nikes, or whatever. Spend some money. It is worth it. I've just parked up and I'm waiting for my friend Alistair. We're always sort of running buddies, and I must say that is one of the best things about running, is the sense of community. It is not being alone, and just the bond, the social element to it. You're both like dying at the same time and encouraging each other and all of that. So that's one thing you don't really get in the gym. It's different, it's not the same. And actually, talking of gyms, I'm parked just outside of my gym. Be Fit, I swear, there we go, I'm still getting used to this, one of the best gyms in Jeddah, and I recommend it as strengthening the body before you run, right? We go full circle. Here he is, he's crossing the road. Let's hope he doesn't get hit by a car. Please, Alistair, you don't have long to go until you leave here. Come on. He's made it. Alistair, I was hoping we weren't going to catch you on camera getting hit by a car.
That would have been awesome.
Would have made for great content, though.
Great thumbnail.
Mate, are you sad? Leaving?
Well, yeah, very sad. But I'm happy because I've got dates.
Here's a question, actually. What's the importance of dates? Why do you need dates?
Because when you do exercise, you burn fuel. And one of the quickest forms of fuel is a sugar. And in dates, you have a good form of sugar and fibre, which is good for you.
True.
Fuel. Dates are fuel.
Yes, a carbohydrate is fuel. So if you are consuming, or if you are training hard and you're exercising a lot, you're moving a lot, you need more fuel, right? So you can increase your carbohydrate intake. Sorry, you want to say something?
So if you ever feel really tired during your workout, you might not be getting enough fuel.
Or sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, on those days where you're not moving as much, if we're talking more again about fat loss side of things, if you're not moving as much, right, you're stuck at your desk, you're literally in traffic all day, whatever, you're not going to the gym, you're not moving, then you need less fuel. So you can bring the carbohydrate intake down, right, to accommodate that, because you don't need as much fuel. But if you are training and you're going to be like going hard at it today like we are, then a bit of sugar, thank you, a bit of sugar will definitely help things. Falafia.
Falafia thick. Alright. Where do we put these pips?
I was about to give it to you, mate. I reckon. We'll clean up. So what is the plan today? What are we running?
The plan, Stan, is to keep conversational pace, which never happens. Every time we say conversational pace, within about 3 minutes, we're both out of breath and we can't talk.
Mate, we're overachievers.
We're overachievers and end up underachieving on our runs every time. Consistency, not...
Consistently trying to overachieve and crash, feeling like...
At least we're consistent.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of feel like, the first couple kilometres are like, yeah, we can hold this pace.
This feels great.
This feels fantastic.
Because it is the first kilometre, not kilometre 7.
And we're like, yeah, all right, we'll hold this pace. 2 kilometres later, we are like, dead. Fucked. Absolutely ruined.
Exhausted.
Anyway, here we are. We're coming to the Corniche, where there is someone parked in the road collecting the bins. They always come. What do you want? Oh, there's more. Right, let's go. Right, I'm going to warm up with a view. Right, so first of all, get the old calves going.
Think of every part of your body you use when you run. Calves, quads, hamstrings,
Mind,
ankles, hips, nose, shoulders, knees and toes. Done.
Ooh, hips are tight.
Hips don't lie.
I swear, you get the same feeling every time you come to the Corniche. And look at it! Look at the beauty! It all looks so good until your eyes are just at the floor and you're just focusing on one step after the other. So we are starting. We don't know how long we're going to do. Probably about 7 kilometers or something. It is very windy. How you feeling? How the legs? How the legs?
The legs are doing well. Hammies are tight because 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago?
Yes.
We did a leg day.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you are planning on training your legs, make sure you leave space between the training of the legs and the running also. Anyway, yalla, let's do this. Alistair, we're 2.5 in. How you feeling?
Oh shit. Ooh, I'm gonna bleed that out. I feel horrendous.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
But for now, we've got to cross the road. So we've come to the end here. Beautiful people leaving water out for everyone. And then we risk life and death. Look at the sun. Woo. Look at the sunset. Beautiful.
Shall we take a 2-minute rest then, please?
We can have a rest if you want. Look at that. Beautiful. So Alistair, you wanted to stop to appreciate the sunset, or you needed the rest?
I wanted to appreciate the sunset and fix my cramp. Underfueled, I didn't have enough dates.
Big problem. Hydrated? Guess you're getting in now, aren't you?
No.
Bosh.
Still some ice in there.
Alright, so what we're going to do, wait here for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes and then
Recharge, go again.
2 minutes, then bosh.
Bosh. Right, Alistair, we're off again.
Again.
How are we doing? Feeling good?
On the seaside.
The seaside.
Tree.
It's Arafat Day today, so
Kids just love fish too.
everyone has come out here for picnics, so it's very nice to see. We'll show you what it's like. Beautiful. We are a man down. Alistair felt a twinge in his calf again, so he's going to walk. And this is the thing, right? Even if you run a lot, the propensity for injury can still be quite high. So, always worth listening to your body and, getting stronger. Okay, that is 6K complete. We have Alistair finishing strong.
Look at this guy, sitting on the pavement whilst I'm running. What is this?
Mate, evidence in here. How was it? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine after walking. I've got some vanilla wafers and some crisps.
Didn't get anything from me though, did he?
I did, but I ate them.
So, what did we learn from this run? Make sure you're wearing the right shoes.
I fell over.
Go again, fall over again. I think I missed it. Be strong. Build up gradually. If you feel pain or injury, it's best to stop. But also, if you're tired, don't be a little bitch. He was genuinely injured. He was genuinely injured.
Yeah, tiredness is not a dangerous thing. You can push through it, but if you get like a twinge in your muscle or your ankle starts
Yeah,
to
but like twinges are like kind of like just man up.
Pain level 5 or more, and be realistic. Don't be like.
This is the guy who runs 15K on Jeddah's hottest day this year at like 46 degrees. So I think he's familiar with pain, and so that's why when he feels like a twinge, I'm like, Tamam, okay, khalas.
That was very nice of you, actually.
Mate, you should have seen what I said about you before.
He's quite famous, so he's currently taking selfies with fans.
Amazing, man. Okay. الساعة 5 5 ونص نعم. ايوه بس 100 تيجي تتمرن وطاقة إيجابية جدا.
بس يوم الجمعة كل
Speaking Arabic.
كل جمعة بس جمعة أنا الآن عشان إجازة
يوم الثلاث بالعادة F1 track. بس اليوم قفل.
I'm still here, guys.
أنا أشوفك في
just
الحوش.
forget about me, you know.
بس أنا أفضل.
And here we have the Jeddah sign, the beautiful sign that it is. Jeddah Raya. I'm back home now, and the first things first is getting some creatine and getting some electrolytes in. I think when you're running and when you're obviously sweating as much as I am, you have to focus on your hydration. Otherwise, you're going to be cramping, your muscles aren't going to be feeling good, and everything is just going to feel off. And generally, to be honest, what I find with clients here a lot of the time is people aren't necessarily adequately hydrating. So they're in a position where they're just really drinking coffee all day, every day, and they're not focusing on getting adequate water in. And water's boring. Hydration's boring to talk about. But I find the key things you can do to just make sure you get enough in is on waking. Like in the morning, just have like 2 glasses, knock them back, done. Have a glass with every meal, before you go to the gym, during the gym, after the gym. And that way you're probably going to be getting up to what, like 2 liters, 2.5 liters. So honestly, that's one of the biggest things you could do, especially if you are trying to lose fat as well. Like fat, or rather water, is super important in the fat breakdown process. So if you are dehydrated, your body isn't going to be running optimally for fat loss. So take that into account. Now, we're going to be making some dinner, and usually, to be honest, I just have the same dinner day after day, day after day, day after day. I like it. It's functional, it's practical, it's really nutritious as well. So I'll show you a bit of that in a moment. We first start with garlic. Good for the taste. And then we let it simmer away. There we go. Look at all that flavour. Next up, we're going to add 4 chicken breasts. And don't at me for cutting it with scissors. Honestly, touching chicken possibly is the most disgusting thing one could possibly do. So I try and avoid that at all costs. And so if you haven't guessed it already, obviously protein, super important, especially if you are looking at getting into strength training, if you're looking at fat loss, if you're looking at building muscle. Like protein is going to be the #1 thing that helps with all of that. If you are running, you're going to be breaking down your muscle tissue, so it's really important you get a good amount of protein in. I'll probably do a video on that separately, so you have a better understanding as to how much you need for your body weight, for your sex, for your activity type, and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite detailed, but I think it'll be really important for you to know. Chicken breast number 4. One of the other things I do here is I pad out, especially when I'm on a little bit of a cut to lose some body fat, pad out my meals with loads of vegetables, because it just basically fills your stomach, and I hate being hungry. So the more veg, the more protein, the better, the more fat loss. Now I think you can see what I mean. You see all the veg we have here. So this basically is going to go into my one big meal. Bulk it out with the veg, get it tasting good. And you see how I have lots of different colour of veg. Like you want to really, when it comes to vegetables and fruit, you want to eat the rainbow. So you want to eat all sorts of different colours, different types, because they all have different nutrients, different vitamins in them as well. So you get all sorts of benefits basically from them. So I'm going to let this cook for a little bit longer. And this is what we're looking like at the moment. Look at all that bulk. And then also, I'm going to be having a nice big wrap with it as well. Get some carbohydrate in there too. It is now time to love you and leave you. We have the food looking good here. Got 2 wraps, 4 chicken breasts, and however many peppers. And I'm hoping that was useful for you today. Now, I'm going to be doing more of these, delving into all sorts of topics: training, nutrition, this kind of stuff. And remember, you've got to like, you've got to comment, you've got to subscribe, you've got to do everything. So let me know how you find it. I would love to hear. And I'm looking forward already to the next one.